Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Going for Three podcast. This is episode 26. As always, my name is Percy, also known as PTP, and with me I have Chris Collins, also known as the AOB, the Advocator of Buckets, and G, aka Gramps Bayless. You know what I'm saying? How we-
Uh,
I had to bring it back real quick. How we doing, fellas?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can't complain.
yeah, it's been a rough. Had another rough weekend, but we're good. We're here. Let's do it.
Yeah, and missed last week. Had a couple of things going on, but we're back now, and got a lot
We
of things to talk
we
about.
we can blame me. We had some miscommunication, and I had a death, so it's my fault. I'll take the blame, but
Yeah.
we'll give it to you good this week to make up for it.
Hey, yo.
Oh, come on. It's a podcast episode. It doesn't have. Why is that gotta be sus?
Yeah, it's off my instincts at this point. But well, I guess we just get right into it. So the NBA playoffs, obviously they're in the conference finals right now. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later, but semifinals concluded about last week. Want to start with the Eastern side or the West first?
You can do the East.
All right, so had the Boston Celtics and the Boston and Milwaukee, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Celtics winning 7. Um, Initial thoughts, opinions on it.
Well, I look as an objective fan, which I. Why you're laughing already?
And
Wait,
the,
as an objective,
it doesn't even go hand in hand.
as an I am not Scooter. Come on now.
Oh,
As an object,
I didn't call you delusional.
I appreciate that. No, as an objective fan, I have predicted in the past. I had said it on the record. When it came down to that, I did say, as a Celtics fan, even I did say Bucks in 7, and I think if Middleton plays that series, that's probably how it turns out. But Giannis was a one-man show, and basically that's all it was a one-man Giannis show. Um, both teams played sloppy at times. Uh, I am honestly surprised that the Jason Tatum put up a 46 piece in Game 6, and they won on the road. Uh, without Robert Williams, too. And then Game 7, just I was expecting, another late one possession kind of game coming down to the last minute. Honestly, truthfully, last thing I thought was that the Celtics were going to beat the brakes off them. I didn't see that coming. But again, the flip side of the coin as an objective fan, totally happy they're in the conference finals. Giannis is a beast, and without Middleton's a different series. I can admit that, and the Bucks probably win the series if they have Middleton, but they didn't. Giannis couldn't do it all by himself. Celtics basically played better, but barely, and they won. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't have too many disagreements with you. I mean, to me, it really comes down to the concept of just Giannis kind of running out of gas. I mean, without Middleton, even with Middleton, you can make an argument that the Celtics team is a better team. So without him, it's definitely hard pressed, putting a lot of pressure on Giannis and Drew, especially Giannis. Without that extra shot creator, it can get repetitive, predictable at times. We saw that in Game 7.
Yeah.
Where he's just not getting the looks that I guess he's comfortable with, and even to the point where later on in the game where he is getting those looks, you can tell he's just exhausted. He's smoking wide open layups. You know what I mean? So
I mean, really, nobody else on the Bucks shot decent the entire series.
no, they didn't. Even their offensive, well, quote unquote. Well, I'm not gonna say quote unquote because even their offensive players like
Yeah,
Grayson Allen
Grayson
and
was
Bobby
struggling.
Porter, they were,
Great, yeah, Grayson, Portis, Connaughton, who in the first round were hitting shots. They
and if
weren't
you're gonna
this
put
time.
Grayson out there, he needs to, if he's not, scoring, then it's not really worth it because they're hunting him the whole time on defense. They're going at him the whole game. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, Bud made some decisions that he sticks with, and he doesn't really, change a lot. Wasn't a lot of switching. A lot of open threes. That's his philosophy. That's their system. That's how they play. And I get it. We're playing Brook Lopez a lot of times out there switching. I guess didn't seem ideal, but I would have liked to have seen them try it a little more. Um, and it was almost like you were daring somebody to have that type of game. You give all these guys all these open shots. And they're NBA players. You know what I mean? The writing was on the wall for one of those games to happen eventually. It just happened to happen in Game 7 with Grant Williams going crazy, hitting open shots. So, as far as the Celtics, you can only play. I'm not taking anything away from them. You can only play who's in front of you. And yeah, we can think that Middleton there may change the series, but I mean, Giannis was still there. Drew Holiday was still there. Brook Lopez was still there. So, I mean, they still went in there and they beat the defending champs.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum had probably the signature moment of his career, in my opinion. That's what I'm going to think about, unless it changes again this year. That's what I'm going to be thinking about. Game 6, 46 points. That's what I'm going to be thinking about.
Would you put that over the
Yes,
50
dunk of
piece
LeBron.
against the Nets? No, the 50 piece against the Nets last year when he was basically just him.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
better,
Okay.
better team at the time. I think. Um, Further in the playoffs, it mattered. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
that 50 ball against them, like, yeah, he went crazy, but they never had a shot to win, especially without Brown. At least I don't think anybody thought.
No, no. I
So,
Because
maybe they could have
after the 50,
maybe
that was
won
all he
two.
had, pretty much. Off
because,
the
I mean,
50.
yeah, I mean, when that happened, I said, okay, he dropped 50. I mean, yeah, Jason Tatum is like that. They're still not going to win the series. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything in the
No.
grand scheme. But this was a must win. In a series that a lot of people predicted would be the winner of the Eastern Conference. Now that will remain to be seen, of course, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this one means a lot more personally, and it just like it felt different. You know what I mean? Like that was like he was that felt special. Not to say that the 50 didn't, but this one felt different. This felt like you know when you're one of those guys, it feels like every shot you take is gonna go in my opinion.
Yeah.
As a as a watcher of the game, and that's what it felt like. I feel like he's definitely elevated him just from a, a feel standpoint. Like yeah, his talent has been there. It was there last year when he dropped the 50, but I don't know, this year it's just like he feels like he knows he's here. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'm not because I'm sure he felt that way last year. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moment's not too much for him. Like it's
I mean, I wouldn't even, I would have never. I don't think I would have said that beforehand, just because I mean, Tatum has been battle tested since his rookie year. He's been in
Yeah. Well,
a lot
he
of
got thrown into the fire this first year,
playoff series.
honestly.
He's played a lot of good players. Like
Yeah.
he's battle tested already. That's a fact. So I don't know. I'm impressed but overall, I mean, I'm impressed with the Celtics. I'm not disappointed in the Bucks at all. I mean, they're missing their second best player. It's kind of hard
Yeah.
for you to win if you're missing your second best player. It's definitely possible, but it's harder. Giannis played great for the majority of the series. Yeah, he had a rough second half in Game 7, but I mean it went to 7 games, and you know it just felt like it was fatigue at a certain at a certain point. So and he does still need to work on his game. You could tell like when he's comfortable, he's able to do a lot of those things that he's worked on, like the middies, the post game, even like the little jump hooks. But like you can tell when he got a little uncomfortable or even a little bit more fatigued, it was resorting to all bully ball, and it just was not working. So I mean, he still has to work on his game, and I look forward to seeing that. Definitely needs to keep improving on that mid range shot so he can be more effective and you know all those good things.
Yeah. And we just add on to that. 'Cause, I mean, going into like what you guys said about the great series that Giannis had, the stats he had in that series, like 200 plus points, 100 plus rebounds, and 50 plus assists. Like that's a first overall for like just anybody in the league as a whole. So he goes to show that like he really tried his hardest to win this series. Just outmanned, honestly. Like I said, like missing a guy like Middleton, who was to a certain extent like their closer, because Giannis is obviously gonna give you 40, but when it comes to closing out the games, like they did like to lean towards like the choice of going between Drew or Middleton. And in most cases, if it's just Drew, who's also probably just as fatigued, because I think even in the last series, his defense was kind of like he was going hard on defense, trying to even get the ball back to him. So just it's probably gonna be a what if. Just looking forward about like if Middleton was there, does it switch in victory, or does it just be like, okay, Bucks are taking the 7 and they still lose? So, but oh, and just like a little thing about the Celtics, with Tatum, I guess you can say like it's like the maturation of his shooting ability, to me at least, because even like I'll further get into it when it comes to the Heat game, but it's like the shot attempts that he's taken, it's like it's like that 50-50 line between, oh dang, like this shot looked kind of bad on paper, but like it's all net, like straight back, like he might hit the glass a little bit, but most
Oh,
times
they're
it's like
bad
straight.
shots for
Yeah,
anybody else. Well, not
yeah,
anybody else, but like other guys. But I mean,
but
that's why he's
that's why he's
at
him.
this point star. You
Yeah,
know,
because like it's like the other 60% of the league takes a shot like him. You don't have faith in that. A leaning fade off the bump, pull up over the top from three, like even a layup sometimes, or a scoop layup. I think he had like a scoop layup in that series, falling down. It's like
Yeah.
it's like certain shots he's taking. It's like the average player, you're not gonna trust them to take that type of shot, but he's done enough.
he ain't the average player.
Yeah, like that just proved it. Because if anything, he's probably already seen as the leader of this team. But if anything, it's unanimous. Like most definitely, like he's
No,
that
yeah,
guy.
for sure, definitely for sure. It's the pecking order is definitely established. He is one, Mr. Brown is two, and everybody else falls behind that.
Yeah, I say because
Um,
three definitely varies for the most part.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm more impressed. I feel like with like the potential of his finishing ability improving because I mean, I'm not gonna say he's a great finisher still at this point, but he definitely used to smoke layups when he was younger.
Yeah.
And Grimes being a fan, he definitely should know that. That man used to smoke some layups, man. But
Yeah.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like
I like the aggressiveness he's playing with. You know, I mean, the threes, those are his shots. So
yeah, but the threes is definitely probably I feel like the bigger focal point that he wants to be in his game as well. Which I mean isn't a bad idea because he with the way he is and his wingspan, like he can shoot over a decent majority of most people that guard him. So it's like it's not a bad idea for that to be like his go to thing. But it's kind of like not completely similar, but in a way like how Brandon Ingram had to like bulk up for like going to the paint stuff like that because he really didn't shoot that much. And then as time went on, like he started to get the jump shot together. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think they'll. Yeah, that's tough though. I think they're like very different though.
Yeah, yeah.
Brandon Ingram, Brandon
Tatum is
Ingram
way
is
more
just
perimeter centric to me, at least.
yeah, and Brandon is the mid range for sure. Like
Yeah,
he kind of Brandon kind of plays like D Book a little bit, honestly.
yeah,
He's just way bigger, but Jason is definitely like that three ball is a huge part of his a part of his game, a part of his approach.
yeah. Even with
But I
like,
mean, yeah, he definitely put. I think he's put on. He had put on weight this going into this off season. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference. He definitely looks a little stronger. Even when like on his drives, like he's definitely like, able to bump people off a lot more. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
But also, it makes it a lot easier because like he's rolling with the contact. Like if you can make layups at as weird of an angle as he was making them, it's like hey, at a certain point, it's like strength is gonna overpower the majority of like his matchups. But if he get a little crazy, he still can make those shots too. So the development of both teams, more or less, as far as like I said, Giannis still has a lot of things to work on. Tatum's only gonna get better. Shoot, JB might take a big step next season if all works out the way that Celtics probably wanted to. So should be pretty interesting with that. But all right. So after that, we had the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. Another series that went to seven, and
sure
Dallas
did.
Dallas took the win on the road. Uh, Initial thoughts, takes.
Um, I mean, initially I didn't see the Mavericks having a chance to win this series, but when I made that prediction, I didn't anticipate among one of things being Jason Kidd thoroughly outcoaching Monty Williams, and it wasn't even close. Um,
That's true.
yeah, but that's a I feel like that's a topic that a lot of people aren't really discussing right now. A lot of people are talking about the struggles of Chris Paul in those four straight games, um, or just Luca in general, or like
Yeah,
Dinwiddie and Brunson stepping up. But there were key adjustments made by Jason Kidd that were just never remedied by Monty Williams. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't try, but it didn't work. If he did, you know, um, Suns come out, they win, they go up 2-0. It's looking like it's going to be a gentleman sweep, and Jason Kidd decides to prioritize attacking Chris Paul for sure, getting him in action, making him work on that side. Uh, Chris falls into it, gives still he's getting scored on, but he's giving a lot of effort. If I was Chris Paul, and he would never do this, but I would have. I feel like I don't know. You got to understand like your role in the team, and they need you offensively more than they need you defensively. I feel like he just exerted a lot of energy trying to compete on defense, which I love as far as spirit wise. But him being 37,
yeah,
like that's just so taxing. I really wish he would have prioritized the offense at times. Um, and like I said, that's a slippery slope. But and then going forward, uh, Jason decides to start playing Frank, who's a very capable defender as well.
that was a really interesting adjustment of anything because he did good on not one player but two players.
You said
Right.
what?
Like he did good like on the defensive end for not just Chris Paul but also Devin Booker at times like
Yeah,
when it was asked of
yeah, he
him.
did. Yeah, he did. I don't know. I would have liked to see some type of changes. I'm not really sure what more they could have done. I mean, Devin Booker, struggled. Chris Paul was struggling. I mean, DeAndre Ayton in those last couple games was struggling. So I don't know. I'm not really sure where they could have went. Um, I don't know. It's tough. I'm not gonna say that the Suns were frauds or anything like that. They made it to game. They made it to a game seven.
Yeah,
You don't make it there for no reason or by accident. You know, but to get destroyed in that last game and to really just not even show up. It wasn't great for anybody, for Devin Booker, Chris Paul, or DeAndre Ayton. Chris for being as the age that he is, trying to win a ring, for Devin trying to establish himself in the league, and for Ayton trying to get a bag. It wasn't great for anybody. I don't know. I feel like it was just a mix. It's just a mix of bad things.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's hard to piggyback off that. It was just basically like, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Jason Kidd out coached Monty Williams, and it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like I don't want to say, I hate to use the word quit, but it kind of looks like the Suns quit.
Oh no, yeah, that game was over quickly.
They were defeated after like 5 because the fact they were still even playing probably messed with their head a little bit.
After that, midway through the second quarter, that game was over, and you could tell like I don't know, it's just disappointing, like because you get blown out in game 6 and 7 like completely. So like a lot of people, I feel like game 7 kind of overshadowed the fact that they got completely blew out in game 6 as well. And it's just like no adjustments were working in the Suns' favor. It seems like, and if that's, I mean, I don't know, if that's the case, they need to make some roster changes, in my opinion, because as much as I love Chris Paul, at this stage of his career, and where Devin Booker is or supposed to be, there really shouldn't be a conversation on who's the best player on the team.
No.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I don't want to put this on Devin, but I mean, it's kind of goes to that point. It's like you should be playing to a level where it's not even a debate. Like Chris Paul is still an all-star level caliber player, but you should be that guy. I shouldn't be having game 7s where you're 0 for 8. But I don't know. I mean, it gets to the point. It gets to the point like sometimes Devin Booker can struggle when you put a certain type of defender on him, and he's not a great athlete. So I mean, if his shot's not going, it's not like he's gonna get easy looks from his athleticism or anything like that most of the time. I don't know. I think this show they probably should. I wouldn't give Aiden the max after this year. I know he wants one, but just going forward, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, at this
They
point,
probably should go.
Mm-hmm.
They probably should go get another wing score, so something like this doesn't happen again. I mean, Aiden is very important. Don't get me wrong, but we saw the issues happen even with the Pelican series. Like, yeah, they won the series, but like when Devin Booker was out, they were struggling to score at times. And relying so much on Chris Paul, who's going to be another year older, is not ideal. You really want Chris Paul to be the primary facilitator, and then just be able to cook in the moments that he needs to in that mid range. But like when a team gets to key in on it wholeheartedly and make him work on the other end, it's going to be hard for a next year Chris Paul that is going to be 38 years old. So
yeah.
Yeah,
they need to let Aiden go and go get Zach LaVine.
Ooh. Okay, well that's gonna have to come up in a future episode because that was kind of a Bayless kind of take there. All right, trying to see how much
it is attainable money wise, with either just a straight up sign or even a sign and trade, and it's possible. They have the money for it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like not like Jay Crowder's out there doing doing a whole lot. He's a good player, and he doesn't have to be a starter. You can bring him off the bench.
Yeah.
And then get a center to play with the Suns. I mean, you have Chris Paul and Devin Booker who are capable passers.
I mean, sure, they got
Uh,
two. I mean, JaVale and Biyombo, whenever they were asked to play, they weren't horrible.
yeah, I ain't gonna start them though. I'm not doing that. But
I mean, Biyombo, you probably can get away with it. JaVale, you can probably get away with it.
JaVale starting like JaVale can. I feel like JaVale can only give you like 20 to 25 minutes max a night before he's like not effective or making like certain mistakes and things like that.
I'll throw a name out. I'll throw a name out there.
Who?
Mm-hmm.
It's something that just popped in my head. What about huh?
Who was the name?
Mo Bamba.
You'd have to pay him a little bit. He had an improved year this year for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
think his asking price would be too high though, because I mean he still has to prove himself on the other side of the ball. Defensively, he was always kind of solid.
But I'm saying if they're picking up if they're going after Bamba, then that means they let Aiden go. So
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, that would mean that they're going for another scoring punch. I don't know if you could afford both those.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something to look at. I mean, he can shoot. He'd definitely be nice. He's a rim protector. He can shoot.
Still fairly young. I think he's like 23, 24 or something like that.
I don't know how good he is like defensively outside of that, but
that's the only thing he was really good at when he first got to the league, blocking shots.
well, no, I mean like beside like that, there's more to it. Rotations, help side, switching. Like I don't know how good he is on those things.
Yeah.
Like he was always gonna be a capable shot blocker off rip because of his height and wingspan.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking younger, capable, affordable center that can give them the minutes and the rim protection defense that they need.
Yeah,
especially you bringing up like a theoretical sign and trade. Could be.
I mean, if anything, Levine probably just walks. Because I mean, if I'm Phoenix and it's like I'm approached with a sign and trade offer for Levine, I'm probably not gonna take it because if you do that, you're giving up at least Cam Johnson and something else. It ain't gonna be like you can get him some bums and kind of just call it a day. So that just kind of risks them like hurting their nucleus in a way.
You don't think Chicago would be interested in Ayton?
You said what?
You don't think Chicago would be interested in Ayton?
not necessarily. No.
To pair him and Vooch together, that's two slow-footed bigs in the paint. Or semi slow-footed centers, because Aiden ain't the quickest on his feet either.
I mean, I don't
know. Vooch can play the four and he spaces the floor. I mean, it could work.
Aiden is pretty mobile, I would say. I just don't. I'm just not a fan in this day and age of doing the two centers unless they're like DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis type shit.
Sure, even like as old as it is, like if you got like I feel like a D-Rob Tim dynamic where it's like both at least have the ability to at least play defense when it comes down to the interior, but as far as like their offensive toolkits are a little bit different. Like Vucevic gives you offense at the four, but he's not guarding half of the fours in the league right now. At least to me, I don't see him as like put Vuce at the four, and that's the size mismatch is enough to win him the matchup. I don't think it's gonna work for him. It'd be an experiment for sure, though, because I mean, it'd probably be a little bit of an upgrade from Patrick Williams, but
yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. I noticed something when it came down to like the whole discussion, because like the whole Pat Bev interview that took some fruition. He called Chris Paul a cone, but
he just got on TV to be a clown.
Yeah, it was definitely a ratings thing.
He has no cachet or place to speak on Chris Paul in that manner, especially when a lot of it ain't even true.
Yeah, he's getting on every show and probably making himself some money doing that. For being
But it's like like I said
That
earlier.
wasn't just that wasn't even that wasn't just a clown take. That was a whole circus. That was ridiculous.
No, but Riddick
I'm
said it was
sorry.
personal.
Seems it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least on the
Mhm.
surface. But yeah, I had to bring that up because that was it. Kind of goes to this next point. But like I said, as far as like how kids' adjustments kind of are, it's on the back burner when it comes to like how they ended up winning the series. And it was like the posting up of Chris Paul, making him work, exerting energy. Devin Booker still hasn't figured out how to navigate a double team yet. And then on top of the fact that like Aiden kind of, I don't know if he was like excluded from the game plan or if he like played himself out of it. Cause I know they had like an argument or something. So the chances of him coming back is
He didn't
slim.
start the game off great either, though, and
Yeah,
I feel like that probably played some part in it. Like you have little guys guarding you, and you're like missing post ups, missing layups, missing tip ins.
yeah,
A lot of times playing small, like there's no reason why you shouldn't be banging on these people. Like honestly,
more
like
or less. Yeah,
you should have been dominating like Bertans and what,
Kleba.
Kleba.
Yeah,
Yeah, like bro, no, there's no way you shouldn't be just eating these boys up. Um,
yeah,
I don't know. Going forward, I mean, they're definitely gonna. I don't know. It's I don't know.
yeah.
It I
It
they're
works.
still gonna
It
be a
works for them
playoff
and
team.
against them as far as like them holding off on not giving him the max because they kind of wanted to see growth. Because last
I mean,
season
but
he got punished in
he
the
gave
paint.
he gave growth for sure, and in the playoffs he had a lot of good moments. It just comes down to the fact of like, do you think that Aiden and Bridges can take well shit both of them equally can take a next step to allow Chris Paul to not be in a position where he has to be the second leading scorer on the team
Yeah,
at age 38.
yeah,
That's really the issue. It's just like they get on like they get on that because you can throw things at Devin to make him struggle because they know they have to rely on Chris. So it was just a perfect game plan. Like let's make Chris old ass work on defense, get him tired, get him
yeah,
fatigued, and then let's just double and show a lot of attention to Devin
yeah.
because DeAndre's not making us pay down here a lot. Bridges is not doing enough offensively consistently. Now, whether that's a part of the game plan or not,
I feel
course,
like
that's
I feel like that's like
different.
slightly on Monty because whenever Chris Paul doesn't play, this dude Bridges is literally like sometimes the number one on paper. At least it seems for like cuts and mid ranges. Like they work a lot harder to get him to rock. When Paul's there,
Yeah.
they try to run through him, which it's almost like I feel like they should get like a Grizzlies mentality as far as just like even if you got Chris Paul playing, like the end all be all of your offense shouldn't be like him initiating everything. At certain points, you're gonna have to give that ball up. Booker obviously don't get touches, but what got them this far during the regular season was their ability to spread the ball and the ability of everybody kind of having that chance to pop off. They got away from that in the Maverick series for what reason I have no idea from it, but because like Luca posting him up, like you gonna get that regardless. Like kid gonna realize, okay, like Paul, that's a baby. Like that's a matchup they should have been doing that from the rip, just off the matchup itself.
I mean,
But
he's 6 feet tall. They should,
yeah,
it got exhausting to watch. It's like you're not gonna do something about it, or like if you're gonna keep putting it in a position, then stop switching. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like Luca, like bro, like Luca's a shot maker, but Luca's not that great of a 3-point shooter just by percentages. He's not. Takes a lot of bullshit shots, a lot
yeah,
of step back off the left side fader threes. You
yeah,
know, no lift to the shot type shit.
yeah. It's almost like a
And
heave in a way.
yeah, like some of them be going in, but like, hey, if he, he's a shot maker, but he's not. I wouldn't call him a 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
You know, what I mean, like he has the respect, of course, but it's like one of those things. Is like I'm not just gonna allow him to get this switch on Chris Paul every damn time
yeah,
for four
yeah.
games
Yeah, because like at some point,
when he
like you're big
can't
gonna
be
have to be
killing.
in a situation to switch over, or not even switch over, but like be able to hedge. Like I don't think they were hedging at all to initiate like okay a reset of getting it back to where it needs to be.
And like I said, you got Chris like really trying to compete. It's like,
Yeah,
bro, just let it be, let it go. Like if you gotta olay him because your contribution especially at this point in your career is way more appreciated and needed on offense. And let's be clear, like Chris Paul is not the defender that he was. I mean, that is one thing. That was a sentiment that Patrick Beverly was trying to say. He just said it in a disrespectful way. But like Chris Paul's not the defender that he once was. He's nowhere near it.
Hands not as
he
quick.
can be nowhere near as quick. He's like not even close. Like he can be an average defender to a slight plus at this point of his career. There's no like, of course we know at one time most nights he's probably the best defender on the floor.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's on the floor. Like that's how good he was in the past defensively. But like, yeah, I mean, age, injuries, all of that plays a factor.
Yeah, especially for his shoulders. So it's like, the range of motion on them tip passes or him getting in the lanes is starting to decrease. So
I'm literally just talking about lateral quickness. That boy Jalen, that boy Brunson was getting. Hey.
Oh, he was getting busy on him.
Yeah, he was. Yes, he was. You're absolutely right. He was. And it's just like,
Yeah. Yeah, just round us off though. I do kind of agree with like the ability, like the idea of them getting like another guard, because I feel like bigs for them, which is why I kind of didn't understand why they got rid of Jalen Smith, because I feel like if you were thinking about giving DeAndre Ayton a max, you had another big that you drafted who at times I feel like could have been a very serviceable replacement if he got time to play, but the times where like Chris Paul had to play the bulk of those minutes because Cam Payne also was getting put in a blender, you're gonna need somebody else on the secondary end.
That's fair. That's definitely fair because Cam was definitely struggling that whole series. Basically lost his minutes, honestly. And that may be something that they have to look at going forward because I mean, as much as I like Cameron Payne and he improved, he was out of the league for a reason. It might have been,
to an extent.
Yeah. So it's just like he has his own limitations. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what their decision is going forward, but definitely a disappointing start or a disappointing way to end the season. These guys still are who they are, though. Let's not.
Yeah, they're still going to be competitors for next season. High ranked competitors for next season.
Still going to be one of the top teams in the West. Chris Paul is still one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. Devin Booker is still a bucket and an all-star. Like let's relax. You know what I mean? Like let's calm down, guys.
Yeah.
They ran into somebody who projects to be better all time than both of them. So, and Chris Paul is pretty high. So, yeah.
Better plan, better execution, more or less too. Honestly, just better execution.
Yeah. I mean, but I put a lot of that on coaching.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd has turned himself into a wonderful coach through his trials and tribulations. I didn't think he was a great coach when he first came into the league with Brooklyn. I thought he was a good coach, decent to good coach with Milwaukee. Made some pivotal changes for Giannis that really helped him. But now I think he's a solid. I think he's a solid coach now. I think he's proven that.
Yeah, this seems like the right group. This seems like really the right group for him.
Yeah, right group, right players. Him and Luka seem to mesh and fit. But I mean, hey, when you had Rick Carlisle before, it might not be that hard.
Anything's mostly an improvement because the fact that Rick Carlisle didn't realize the post-up ability of Luka, but Kidd does, or even just the whole utilization of all 3-point guards that they have. Like Brunson gets in, puts him in a blender, he gets to the cup, then Woody gets a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, this could be a completely different team if Jason Kidd got there a couple years earlier. Who knows? Rick Carlisle completely ruined Dennis Smith. So we don't even know what that could have been if he had a coach that believed in him and actually tried to, work with him.
Shoot, even the KP Luka dynamic probably could have been a lot better if Jason Kidd was there earlier. KP would be standing in the corner.
That is true.
So I got this flipped away. Carlisle was being shit, but or to an extent, but yeah, but all right, conference finals. I guess we can start with them since we're already over here. Mavs and Warriors game just concluded today.
Yeah, they got clapped.
Yeah, they got it was not pretty. Yeah, 112-87. uh, it was a shellacking. Uh, any
This series,
thoughts? Uh,
this series isn't going past 6. And
okay,
I
well,
know
I'm glad we agree on that.
I've been wrong in a lot of series. I think I've been wrong in the majority of all series this year. But what I've learned,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that the way this the Suns team and the Warriors team are similar in certain type of ways, but the caliber of player is higher in a lot more different positions. Like you're not gonna like yeah, you can make Steph Curry work on defense, cool, but he's gonna be running around all game regardless. He's not gonna get fatigued like that. That's just not how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he's gonna like even if he's not making his shots, he's just gonna be running. He's gonna be making you work and making you fatigue. Him and Clay and Poole. You know what I mean? Like they just have more offensive weapons than like a Suns team.
Well,
You know,
that's exactly the point. The Warriors have plenty of guys who can make shots.
Yeah.
yeah, four guys that could give you 20 easily. One of which is a little gun shy, I will say,
At
but
times,
he
yeah.
still has the ability. I was talking about Wiggins.
Yeah, I was say, yeah, Wiggins is definitely he passes out of a lot of opportunities sometimes.
Yeah, he does. But I mean, I'm fine with that as long as he just stays aggressive for the most part. Which I mean, he was definitely aggressive today. I mean, he took 17 shots, 19 points. I don't know. The Warriors still have like they obviously they still have the core with Dre, Clay, and Steph, and that system is still in place. But now you have you have multiple guys in Poole and Wiggins who can operate out of that, get you a shot in ISO. You know what I mean? Like yeah, Poole's getting a lot of attention for his ISO ability, and rightfully so. But
Yeah.
Wiggins was an all star earlier in the season for a reason. He has that ability as well. And if I'm not mistaken, earlier in the season, he was one of the best ISO scorers. I don't, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
I mean, they gonna play. They gonna play the right way. They gonna move the ball, and they have guys that can get. They have guys that can get their own bucket outside of that system. They're gonna make you work on defense. Then they're gonna make Luka work. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide them because everybody's gonna be running all around and shit. So I mean,
Yeah.
Luca will definitely play better for sure, but
Yeah, maybe 6.
yeah,
This is definitely not 7. There's no.
I don't see that at the way this game is played. I mean, Steph didn't even. I don't even think Steph played in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
So I mean,
he finished with 21, so it was like the game was over before he really even needed to go past that. So
yeah, he didn't even. I mean, he played good, but like he didn't shoot the ball particularly efficiently.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like there's a lot of lot of meat left on the bone for like Steph and Clay. Like Clay only had 15 points. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah, it could get ugly as far as like offensively for some of these Golden State players who can still have like really great games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we know Clay is good for at least one. Don't let it get to a game 6 because that's gonna be Clay's game regardless.
Yeah, that's when Clay really lock in.
So I mean, yeah,
But I mean,
I don't know.
yeah,
Jason Kidd will make adjustments, I'm sure, but I mean, Steve Kerr made his name as a coach off of making some all time great adjustments.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Implementing his ball movement system, benching Iguodala for Draymond Green, which it seems like an eternity ago, but when it happened, it was like, what are you doing?
yeah,
I mean, I don't think he's gonna allow a wrinkle to jeopardize, their whole season like Monty Williams basically allowed. And they just have better offensive personnel to avoid
almost
those
definitely.
offensive struggles. You know what I mean?
Because like even like say like for example, if say Luca starts getting a little bit out of hand for like a guy like Clay or like just
Oh
say
no,
like
Andrew Wiggins should be guarding him the entire series. I
yeah
know they're gonna switch. They're gonna hunt and they're gonna switch because that's what they do. They're gonna be hunting for Steph. They might try to test Clay out a little bit, but they should really be trying to really keep Wiggins on Luca the whole time.
yeah make sure like even then like hey they even got Kuminga chilling in the cut. So it's
Yeah,
like
and,
like if need
somebody else
be
brought that. somebody else brought that name up to me, but that's tough to put on him as a rookie. I don't, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, he can get a go at it for sure at times, but
Yeah, I feel like he'll get a
that's
chance for it because I mean they brought him in the last series just to see what he was gonna do.
no, he's a good player. I'm just saying like for a rookie, that's just a tall task to come in and hey, guard Luca.
Yeah.
In the minutes that you're in, guard Luca.
He like stop
Guard
stop
guard
stop these three
Luca.
baskets real quick while Clay get a Gatorade or while Wiggins gets some
Exactly.
Gatorade.
Exactly. So I mean he definitely projects to have the body, of course, and the athleticism. He's, you know, got good wingspan and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But off of my first impressions, yeah, I don't see it going past 6. But Luca will ball out because I mean he's Luca.
Yeah.
You
Plus,
know,
I feel like they just got clapped this game because the Warriors got their work done early, so the Mavericks going to 7, and you got to travel to San Fran, play a team that's literally gonna run you in circles. They look like the
yeah.
amount of front rim shots they had tonight. I don't think that lasts after they get like a little bit of a break. So I don't think they play until what, Thursday? Not
I
Thursday,
think
probably
so.
Saturday. Yeah, probably Saturday.
Well, I mean, but it takes like a mental commitment to play a team like the Warriors, and if you haven't played them in the playoffs previously, it can kind of be like a shock.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they run and they move all game. You lose, like Jordan Poole puts up a shot and you don't box out. Somebody gets that rebound and you turn behind you and steps on the other side of the court, wide open for a three because he's
yeah,
moving. Or Clay, like that's just it takes like it takes a certain level of discipline. I'm not saying the Mavericks don't have it. Clearly though, I mean they got a change tonight. They're used to playing a different team, but this is a whole different situation.
yeah,
And we'll see what the adjustments they make, but
yeah,
don't look great.
yeah. I I
As much as I
I
like
still, I
Devin
still feel
Booker,
like they'll
he's
be
not
out
Steph
man in that
Curry.
situation.
Yeah, as much as I like D Book, he ain't Steph Curry.
No.
Yeah. And even from like a
So
perspective of like Looney is like half the big that Aiton is, but hey, he gets the job done. Like,
I mean, because the Mavericks they're not gonna punish you in that type of way. So it's like you can have Looney out there and it'd be okay.
yeah.
I mean,
Plus he's 6'9", so it's not like matchup wise he can't guard the whole lineup. So it's like
yeah. I
the,
mean,
the
bro, like
yeah,
the Warriors' weakness has always been, um, playing teams that have length at all positions and can switch almost everything. Like that's always been their weakness. And this Mavericks team is really not
yeah,
that type of team, in my opinion. I mean, they kind of have some. They have some of the personnel, I guess. Kind of like you got Dorian Finney and yeah. I mean Reggie. I mean they got wings, but it's not. I don't look at them as like it's like I would look at like that Raptors team or something like that. You
yeah.
know what I
But
mean?
it's not like a they have length, but they're all really sluggish. Like even like for their power forward position, like Bertans and Kleba aren't small people, but they're just
Oh
really
yeah,
slow.
they're not going shit.
Yeah,
Well,
like
shit. Bertans definitely not going shit.
yeah, like they're just really slow, and defense ain't their specialty. So you can have at some point I wouldn't be surprised if they throw in Juan Toscano with Draymond at the 5 because literally there's nothing really like this is an experiment. There's nothing that changes anything for them. So
Right.
Mavericks should definitely. I don't think the next game looks as ugly. I hope not because it's looking real dark already. But
That's cool though. I mean, it's good to have some reality checks every now and again.
yeah, because I mean if anything, like everybody kind of knows that like the Suns team self-destructed, which is why the Mavericks are even here. So they might have been riding the high of, just like, oh, we beat the number 1 team. We deserve to be here. And then you go to Oracle and get your cheeks tapped.
Play some
So,
champions.
yeah, you play some people that actually, like Curry on a mismatch isn't as sweet as he used to be. Um, You're not going to get that post up off because they're shading, playing the middle of the lane. You can't throw that over Wiggins. So even Otto Porter came in, as much as he complained, he still did a little bit of serviceable stuff on the court. He ain't a bum either. Like,
Also, you don't think that Steph Curry hears all this talk? Luka this, Luka that.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like Steph Curry is still here. Steph Curry is the only person from the established top 5 players that are still playing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you got people talking about Luka this, Luka that. Like I'm not chef in the pot. Like I'm not Chef Curry.
Like he's not him still from the 3.
Exactly.
Like,
so I mean, well, hey, I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I said, I don't see it going past 6.
Yeah.
But hey,
should be intriguing.
Who we got next, man?
All right, we got Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat for the Eastern side. Miami's up 1-0.
I got a whole lot to say, but I want to hear Grimps go first.
Yeah.
All right, look. Miami won. Not taking it away. Playoff Jimmy showed.
Jimmy B.
Playoff Jimmy showed up. Gave him some work. Gave him the work. I'm not gonna take that away from him. No Horford, no Marcus Smart. Let's be honest, it played a role. And
I'm not gonna put too much stock into that because he didn't have Kyle Lowry.
We're not even that. Like in the first quarter, the Celtics were they were on them. In the first quarter.
See that was leading me to a point. Is the Celtics have this habit, and they did it a lot earlier in the season, and they've done it in the playoffs. They have this habit where they'll string together, depending on which 2 quarters it is, they'll string together 2 quarters, and then they'll just play 1 quarter of atrocious basketball. And, you give up, like last night, you give up in a third quarter, you give up a 22-2 run, and that's the ball game, and it frustrates the hell out of me. And it's just something that they've done all season. Now, obviously, when they went on their run, it was fewer and further between. But it's in the playoffs, it's reared its ugly head, and they've been able to battle out of it. But last night, it didn't happen. Miami took advantage.
Yeah.
They played better. They beat us. They're up. There's nothing I can say. That's really,
Yeah.
Well, I
don't think we lose. Would we lose by 14? I don't think.
We lost by 11. I think.
Yeah. It was 118 when
I honestly, I understand you may not agree, but I think if Horford and Smart play, at the very least, that game is closer than that. I don't think either team goes above 100, but more than likely Boston wins that game.
I mean, that's easy to say, but they're also missing their starting point guard as well. So I mean, it's.
Yeah. I mean, Gabe Vincent came in and gave him 17. So it's like.
And I think one, Boston's been used to playing physical defense on people the whole year, this whole playoffs, and they want to be dogs, and they play a team.
Oh no, they're getting pumped. No, they were doing it's like a fight. They're doing all the swinging, but this time now somebody's swinging back.
Yeah.
You're not gonna punk no Miami. So, they said, "Oh, y'all want to play defense? Okay, we got you." But no, in all seriousness, I think you spoke about the first half. I think a lot of the first half, bro, was honestly just Jason Tatum hitting some difficult shots.
He was hitting some bullshit.
Yeah, he was going crazy. And then I feel like for a lot of that run, he wasn't. I don't think he was in the game for much of that run in the third quarter. I don't know why, but he wasn't in there. I was worried about the Heat's offense, and I kind of still am. I don't expect Jimmy to average 40. Vincent gave them some great minutes. He played fantastic, in my opinion.
Yeah, very, very clutch buckets.
So he played fantastic. I mean, he had 17 points, and he only had 3 assists, but like just the opportunities that he was creating and the pressure that he was putting on the defense and the defensive plays that he was making.
Oh, he had 3 blocks. What?
Yeah. Yeah, he had 3 blocks.
Man, the boy was serving
They
major
were-
D.
Yeah, they were pivotal. So I mean, yeah. And then um as far as Boston, I mean, they gotta take better care of the ball. They had some pretty bad turnovers going on there.
Yeah. Well, Smart. I know Marcus Smart's back for game 2.
Yeah, but I
Horford,
mean,
Horford, Horford is iffy. If he depends
I don't
on
agree
his test.
with Master of the Universe, the Big Diesel, Big Shamrock Shaq, where he said, it didn't matter, and I kind of agree. It wouldn't have mattered if Marcus was in that game. If Jimmy's playing like that, I mean, to me he's to that level. Same thing with like a lot of other players. He's to that level, so. At that point, it didn't really matter who you put in front of him. Jason Tatum is a very, very, very capable defender. We saw him giving KD fits in the first round, and it didn't matter.
And shoot Tatum is longer than Jimmy, so you would think the bucket like capability would be less. Not like
Hey, you got me with
I
one.
had it. I had it covered.
What also I think was what is not talked about enough is Jimmy's ability to get to the free throw line.
Hey, he get up in there.
He's getting the foul calls because he's not really. I don't look at Jimmy as hunting for it. He's hunting contact for sure.
Yeah,
but he's not like hunting to not. He's not bullshitting you. You know what I mean? Like
he trying to sell it. It's more or less like you either make a miss or he hits it.
Exactly.
It's in their hands.
Exactly, and then the refs are gonna, they're not gonna not give him calls because they don't. He's not cheating you out of anything. It doesn't feel cheap. He's just he's playing very aggressive.
Yeah,
he's bringing the contact to you. He's putting pressure on the defense. He's putting pressure on the refs to make those calls.
Yeah,
I mean, there's really no way around it. I mean, and he was getting a lot of people up in the air, getting a lot of people off balance, putting a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, his post game was looking kind of underrated.
Yeah,
like his up fake is.
If Jimmy's gonna play like this, you guys aren't gonna win. That's just what that comes down to. Because their defense is better than you guys. As much as I hate to say it. Actually, I don't hate to say it. I don't have any feelings about saying it. If that makes sense.
I mean,
yeah, PJ Tucker, also incredible. Basically, one leg playing inspired defense, inspired that team.
Man, stay plus 12.
I mean, I'm kind of like I said, I'm kind of on a mix because I don't see Jimmy averaging 40, but I also don't see Bam, being
staying with 10 either.
Not an offensive threat. And I can see Vic and Tyler both having better games. I can see a mix.
Yeah, I mean,
granted for Boston, like Jaylen Brown, although his stat line looks decent at the end of the game, he didn't play well in my opinion. He can be better for sure.
Yeah. He can. He didn't play that well.
But Derek White, for some reason, you guys have like this thing where like you get these like mid-season acquisitions of like these wings who are good, but then they get on your team and they're just not. It's very, 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 very Evan Fournier right now, in my opinion. Like he's not doing anything.
I mean, because last series, Derek White was he looked like he was important, and then this series,
at times, at other times, he's missing open shots a lot.
Yeah, was I ain't gonna lie. That's one thing. That's why I was saying like initially, like
people like to ride that that plus minus stuff, because his plus minus was good.
Because some people would say like Derek White was like a clutch acquisition, like from a regular season perspective. Which I mean, at times he was because he had a different.
Played well in the regular season, but right now he's not, in my opinion.
Oh, he's a 3-and-D. He's a 3-and-D, and there's not much of the 3.
No,
ain't that much D either.
He was a little bit more than that. I'm not saying he needs to be here, but it's just at least make your shots when you get them.
Look at a little George Hillish right now. I can't lie.
Oh goodness.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't think it matters, especially from a paint perspective, because like the first 2 quarters of this game, Boston had it in hand. I don't think it was a question. Interior wise, Robert Williams, I feel like he's probably already a little bit better than Al Horford on the interior, just because I like the versatility that he has when he's healthy. So I don't think Al Horford being a part of it changed anything. Marcus Smart is also kind of almost the same thing because Hero only had 18. So if anything, they shot themselves out of the game. Even Struz only had 11. So defensively, I don't think that lessens their impact of what they were going to do at all. But if Miami can sustain like the physical like
Oh no,
play that
that
they
defense
want,
is going to be that. That
yeah,
what we saw defensively, that's what it's going to be.
yeah.
I think from both sides. I
Cause I
mean, we
remember
saw
Bubba
some
said something
great.
about the where he's talking
Yes.
about his points and stuff. He said he shot
Mhm.
over 2 from 3, but next game he going 0 for 0 because he wants to bang. I'm like,
Yeah, I seen that. I mean, hey, if he
it,
gonna get the call,
if he coming
and
like
they're not gonna be
that,
able to stop him.
yeah, it's gonna be rough for them.
I
Cause
mean, but like I know, like I love how Jimmy plays the game though. Like, and it's funny because like the way he plays the game, especially like in the regular season, confuses people to think that he's not an all-star or even a superstar level player. But
yeah,
like, make no mistake, in the playoffs when it's here, he elevates, but he's not ball dominant, and that allows this team to get the max out of their offense. Even though they do struggle in the half court, I feel like it allows them to accomplish the most. You know what I mean? Like he's doing like Jimmy Butler's the leading scorer, but he's setting hard picks. He's doing dribble handoffs and like
yeah.
not just holding it for the guy to pass. Like he's actually like handing it off. You know what I mean? Like he's literally like getting
He's always doing
boxing out,
something.
getting rebounds, getting putbacks. Like he's doing. And that's always been a good thing about Jimmy because he comes from humble beginnings as a player,
Yeah,
but he just he's a star player that does all the little things and more. You know what I mean? He'll give you that PJ Tucker like effort, but then still he has like the talent to elevate the team and be that superstar role. I feel like that's very important for this team specifically, but and that's why he fits with this team so much.
yeah.
But
And then even as far as like when it came down to like their construction, like when they talked about their lineups before this game started, they said Tatum was like third, Jalen Brown was 6 overall. Like they ran down like all their picks or whatever. For a team that has Gabe Vincent undrafted, Max Strus undrafted, and both of them alongside Jimmy gave them their own unique like little ingredient to the game. That's one thing that's also unique to me as well. Like just the way that they're. It's probably another team that also like works well with like the undrafted players and stuff like that. But Miami most definitely is like one of those teams where they get guys that fit their system, fit their culture, that energy that they have, and Jimmy is like one of the perfect leaders for them because like nobody, I don't think anybody on that team takes what he says to heart, more or less. So
well, I
his
mean, yeah, that's not the Heat culture.
yeah
The Heat culture is accountability, hard nosed.
yeah
Everybody can get in everybody's face. We're gonna hope. That's just what
yeah
we do. I mean, remember earlier in the season, you know, Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra get into it, and
yeah
Udonis Haslam is,
right
cussing
there
Jimmy
right
out.
there with
You know
it
what I mean?
yeah
Exactly. So like that's their culture. That's always been their culture. Even if we think about before Jimmy, with LeBron getting into it. Mario Chalmers, Dwayne Wade, kind of pushing Eric Spoelstra. Like that's just their
yeah
culture. Like that's how they are. And I
yeah
mean, a lot of times if you have the right players, it brings the best out of you. So
yeah like more fuel to the fire because that
Yeah.
well, people like brought it up when it happened. People thought like, oh, this is the deconstruction of Miami. When in reality, no, it probably made them a lot more stronger because
that's just, that's. I mean,
yeah.
somebody I think somebody said like that's every day in practice. I just happen to see it.
Oh, on the court, yeah, it's like or even in
Exactly.
like it's like that little meme where like the dude says he wakes up and thrives off negativity. That's what this Heat is like. This Heat team is like. Obviously they're positive, but you talk a little, you throw a little shit on their name, you get 41 points. So you get a dude
Yeah.
leading stats, leading all 3 categories for his team. So I mean,
Well, just want to say this last point.
mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler is a Hall of Famer. People may not want to hear it, but it is true. He's not gonna be on any all time scoring list. But Jimmy Butler is a Hall of Famer.
I'm about to say, yeah, because as far as like from a
Creden-
from a
Credentials,
defense standpoint, he's top tier all time.
The credentials aren't gaudy. Like he's not. It doesn't. It's not like no 13 All Star, but they're there. And I mean, hey, this second act of his career has definitely cemented it, in my opinion. Three straight, or not three straight, but two conference finals in 3 years. Led a team to the finals as the best player. That matters to me.
I'm about to say, but the bubble Jimmy run was all time as far as him being gassed from putting the team on his back, trying to fight against Bron and them guys.
He outplayed Bron in a couple games.
He definitely staked this claim. That probably was like the first like step as far as people realizing like he loves this team, and it's showing.
It just really hasn't been able to find a home since Chicago. Well, before Miami, like he had some stints, obviously at the Minnesota stint, where I mean, he was played really well, All Star, got them to the playoffs, and got hurt. And then obviously we know the whole saga with that. Went to Philly, and you know they definitely should have kept him. And that's not even hindsight because they knew they should have kept him then and there. I'm not really sure why they went with Tobias. I think maybe he wanted to leave, or maybe it was a money situation. I don't know the details behind that, but
I was gonna say he made. Did you see that video of that? What he said after they took
the
Philly
game.
out?
Oh yeah, he said
Yeah.
Tobias over me?
Tobias over me. Yeah.
Because it was bad then and it's bad now. You know, we knew that then that it was bad. But it was, I think I don't know. I feel like he didn't. I don't think he wanted to be. I think he wanted to play with Joel, but I don't think he wanted to be in that particular situation. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of a big reason why he went to Miami. He didn't want to be like in a Colling situation. Let's coddle Ben and let's acclimate to Ben, and he's not expanding his game, and we can't hold each other accountable a certain type of way. I feel like a lot of that probably led to him leaving, but he definitely always rocked with Joel and wanted to play with Joel. But
I mean, it's like with Jimmy, you got to have a lot of guys on that team that can give out, can give as well as take. Meaning, like if Jimmy's having an off night, Tyler and Bam could walk up to him and be like, "Hey, you play bad tonight," and vice versa. In Philly, he only could probably do that to Joel.
Yeah, and it's a shame as well because I truly believe that team that was a championship level team. I mean,
Jimmy was playing out of his mind in Philly.
I mean, just think about the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, like as much as talk shit about Ben. This is before, his whole kind of breakdown on the court and not playing. Like, you still had Ben Simmons playing at a high level. You still had Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, JJ Redick, Joel Embiid, Matisse Thybulle. Like, they lost on a last second aiding out of bounds 3-pointer by the eventual champions. You know what I mean? Like, that team definitely could have beat Golden State without KD for sure.
Yeah, it's like if you keep that together,
they had no answer for Embiid. They wasn't even close.
Man, Payne would have been sweet.
You can put Draymond Green in front of Joel if you want to.
Man, but should be pretty interesting. I think it's gonna get a lot more interesting. But people thought that he was gonna be sweet. I don't know why. Like even when they look like they're in like a bad state team wise, it leads together for the playoffs. Like that's always gonna be synonymous with them.
Yeah, they're too hard nosed to go down easy. Even I know like they kind of clapped last year by the Bucks, but a lot of those games were close. With like I know Chris Middleton like hitting damn near a game winner in game one, so it's just hard to beat, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna make you work for it.
Yeah, they definitely have to work. But getting to this last thing we want to talk about, the NBA draft lottery took place the other day. Pretty interesting shakeup as far as how everything worked out for these teams, and I'll start from 14 because that's where it starts from when they do the lottery.
I was good.
Hey, so what?
I'm just waiting for you to let your anger out. Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna get into it. I'm definitely gonna get into it. But so the 14th pick is being made by the Cavs. The 13th made by the Charlotte Hornets. 12th the Thunder. 11th Knicks. The 10th pick made by the Wizards, 9th Spurs, 8 Pelicans, 7 Trailblazers, 6 Pacers, 5 Pistons. uh, so that basically, I think around like the 7th or 6th pick, that meant the Kings moved up to 4. So kind of already spoiled my dreams. But yeah, 4 Kings, 3 Rockets, 2 Thunder, and the winner of the number 1 pick was the Orlando Magic. I'm just gonna get that the way first since I'm already going. I hate this spot for the Pistons. I
You should.
I don't think anything we need this year is at 5.
What do you
'Cause
think you need?
we needed a big body, or at least a not even yeah, big body to a certain extent.
Durant will be there for you.
Yeah, but it's like
You
we already got we already got beef stew where it's like
I mean, but he's undersized though.
yeah, like because like Durant, even though he's built, like he's still like what 6'9", 6'10" maybe.
I think Durant is. Thought he was. Yeah, he's damn near a 7-footer. He's 6'11". He's
He's
a
6'11".
center.
Oh snap!
Yes.
I've always
he's
looked
a
at him and
legit-
thought he was like 6'9" or something.
No,
Okay.
he's a legit like NBA size center with the body to go. I mean, he's obviously his offensive game is super raw,
Yeah,
but
but I mean, yeah, I mean, it might not matter that much depending on how everything else goes. But I feel like how you said, like Durant definitely is like a pro ready built guy. Defensively, he gets in there. Gonna have to work on his at least like a mid range area shot for him. But the way it's looking for fans or just like people in general, we're gonna end up taking a guard, and I don't understand why we have 8,000 guards in the room just for Corey Joseph to just play the bulk of the minutes. Like I don't. This makes no sense in the grand scheme of things for us to be 5th. Obviously, it's the lottery, so whenever we're in building for a lottery, we get fucked. So it's not nothing new to me. But congrats to the Magic. I mean, you get to replace Mo Bamba immediately. So
I mean, well, real quick for the Pistons, real quick. I know
Mhm.
we talked about Durant, and how do you feel? I mean, there's another center out there, 7-footer from Duke. What's his name?
Williams, Mark
Yeah, how do
Williams.
you feel about him?
Oh,
I think he's probably higher projected than Duran.
I mean, I haven't seen him higher, but I think he could be better. I mean, they're both of them offensively isn't great. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they're both kind of like rim running, rim protecting finishers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the Durant having like that higher athletic ceiling though.
And most definitely, like Durant jumps off the scale a lot. I'm pretty sure his combine numbers are going to be crazy whenever they get him in there to test him out and stuff. But
Yeah,
plus, what do you know? How do you know what kind of moves y'all are going to make? What if someone like you make, you might end up making the kind of moves that makes like a Murray pick make sense?
yeah, I mean, doesn't say like free agency does play a factor because I mean, we could. I heard stuff about Brunson, but obviously being 5th, you can draft a guard. You don't need a guy like Brunson anymore. Aiton potentially could walk out the door.
You
So
could trade down. You could trade down and get somebody like I mean, I know you still said big body. You could trade down and get somebody like a Kessler. If I don't know how you feel about him, but I mean,
yeah, Kessler's nice.
he projects to be more of a shooter than the first two, and he was definitely stout defensively for sure. So
Yeah, but like
blocking
he's up there with
everything.
Jabari as far as like I think like a finalist for. I don't think it was the Wooden Award. I'm probably got that completely wrong, but defensively he gonna step up. Which I feel like that might be our best decision is to trade down unless we just want like
Maybe trade down, get a pick a 23 pick, maybe.
Yeah,
Out of somebody.
Unless Shaden Sharp falls to 5, I don't see us keeping this. Rose, I would assume we don't keep that. So,
Given the order, I kind of think he will.
yeah, I mean every team before us really needs. If you run it down, like Magic needs a center desperately. Thunder, kind of the same situation.
Well, maybe.
Magic just need to take the best available, and it's going to be
it's going to be Chet, probably.
Maybe. Do not be shocked. Do not be shocked if Orlando takes Jabari first.
Well, it
I
just he's
wouldn't be. I
moving
mean,
up.
it's
He's
going
moving
to
up.
be either Jabari or
Chet, yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's not Chet.
No, I think
It's
it's
not.
I think
it'll
it's
be
going to be
Chet.
Jabari or Chet.
It's going to be Paolo or Jabari. It's not going to be Chet.
Then Carroll falls to 3
almost.
probably.
I'm almost.
I don't think the other two
I'm
teams
not
want him.
sure, but if I was to give you a number, I'm almost 100% sure they're not going to take it. That would be, to me, that'd be dumb. I'm not going to lie to you. That'd be dumb.
Plus, he likes Houston though,
Don't
so I mean, that also
Who,
might sway
Chet?
people too. No, Paolo. But I think,
I mean-
hey. So sometimes the team could look at it and be like, hey. I mean, obviously it's different from like a Kobe situation where it's like, we not gonna play.
Said he
You
like New
draft
York.
us.
And where's he going?
Yeah.
It's okay then. You know what I mean? So that don't mean nothing.
Yeah. But if anything, like I feel like it'll probably go. It's interchangeable between Chet and Jabari for 1 and 2, but 3 definitely probably be Ben Carroll. I feel
Oh
like
yeah, if Chet doesn't go first, OKC's picking him for sure.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, he definitely fits with OKC with Josh Giddey and all them for sure.
I ain't gonna
But
lie, him poking with Giddy. That's a scary
no,
lineup.
I got Orlando. I got Orlando taking Paolo, OKC taking Chet, and then Jabari falling to Houston with Jalen and Kevin, which would be amazing to see. Very entertaining. Very very entertaining lineups.
Yeah, it most definitely would be interesting. Shoot, actually, I got looking at the top 5.
That's what I mean. If you talk about Sharp is not going to be there for you if you want him.
I
Yeah.
do think so. I could
don't
see
oh, go ahead.
Jabari maybe first, Chet second. Paolo would then be third. Knowing the Kings,
They should
they're
take.
probably going to go guard. They're probably going to go guard because it's the Kings.
It is the Kings.
Eventually, they have to get it right.
I know, but I think if they're going to go that route, I would think they would probably lean towards Ivy.
No, there's no way.
Nah.
Over-
Ivy
They
is
just took
Ivy
Mitchell.
is way too close to De'Aaron as far as like slashing. Like they're
Yeah,
both
but they
slashing
could-
playmakers.
We don't know what the Kings' plan is. That's what I'm saying.
well,
If they commit
we
to
know that
De'Aaron, they're
we
smoking
know
more
that they
dick.
committed. We know that they committed to De'Aaron Fox by trading Halliburton.
Yeah.
So I mean, unless they don't believe that Davion can be a starter, but I mean, you're taking Jaden Ivey, who's also undersized at that 2 position. It wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to take Keegan.
Yeah, but I mean, Kings more or less like Keegan Durant, and just for pure shock factor, kind of like how Giddey was the year prior. Like, if they take Kessler, like just off of full blown potential and make him like their power forward, there's a few chances in that. So
Yeah, possibly.
because Kessler's stock is definitely going to move up between now and then, because if he's not taken within the top 15, then I feel like a team like the Nets definitely need, if they still have any of their picks for a first rounder, that should definitely be a location for him. Shoot, even the Hornets at 13, like as
The
an
more
experiment.
I think about it, the more I think Gramps is right. They're going to take Jaden Ivey, but that's so stupid. Well, it's not stupid. But
It'd be weird.
Mitchell.
I think they take Sharp though, because I mean the Kings are known for like.
What if the Kings
make
really
crazy
aren't
decisions.
that? What if they really aren't that committed to Fox and they trade him and then they draft Ivy and they have an Ivy Halliburton? They have an Ivy.
That would be.
They're getting punished.
That is a Bayless take right there.
They're getting punished. I'm not gonna lie.
I would. They if they did that, they
It's
should.
it's a total. It's a Kings move. It's not that Bayless. Come on, it's a total Kings move.
If
Come on.
the Kings make that move,
that's like
that
It's
man.
I mean,
But
granted, they do it with
that doesn't
Cousins.
that doesn't make sense. Because if that's the case, why did you trade Halliburton? They have committed to De'Aaron. That's what that was. That move was, we're committing to De'Aaron Fox as our guy, and we're gonna see where he can take us.
Yeah, got him as 1-2 guy with Sabonis, his pick and roll guy. So
To me, right now, they need to get an elite wing scorer and defenders.
actually, not about it. Matherin probably slides him to the top 5 if we're talking wings.
Mattering.
Yeah,
Oh
Benedict
yeah,
Mathurin.
I think he's probably top 10 for sure. I think he'll go top 10.
If the Kings are smart, he doesn't get past them. If they're smart, because he's probably the best perimeter defender in the class.
I could see him in the 6 to 8 range if he does fall. If he gets past 5. Depending on where the picks go,
Yeah.
he Blazers maybe, Pelicans. I could
Also,
see it.
for our audiences, this is why you protect your picks, even if
Very
it
much
seems
so.
ridiculous at the time. Like, hey,
Mhm.
hey, I know we're getting nothing there, but you know what? Just in case everything goes terribly wrong, let's get a top 10 protected. And they would have given it to us because nobody would have thought that the Lakers would be here 2 years removed from a championship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, y'all would have
So
had 2 top 15 picks this year if they were protected. I believe.
I know we would have. I know we'd have pick 8.
Yeah. Or at least one of them. Because I know like they said like something about Grizzlies would get one of your picks if it was a certain location, and then some another
I
team
think
would get it.
it was top. I think it was 12, and then I think other than that, it went to the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I forgot what the other team was that had like. Was it the Pelicans? Yeah, Pelicans had 8. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, imagine what the Lakers could actually do this offseason if they actually had that pick,
2 first-round picks,
Yeah.
or even
or even just this one,
Yeah.
oh
even
yeah,
just the one at the.
it'd be nice.
Yeah. Because if anything, if the lottery just rolled to where I was like, okay, like Lakers have 14. 14 is workable, and then 18, well not 18, 8. If they get
It's
it
still an
protected.
asset though.
Yeah.
It's still an asset.
They would
Yeah.
trade it regardless, though, because that's
Oh,
a
sure, sure.
Yeah, it's a LeBron team. You know, they always they don't like young men.
yeah. They don't plan for the future ever.
Yeah. Like they're gonna be in a deeper hole after this Westbrook trade. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, at some point, yeah. Now I really want to do this mock because
Yeah, I do
the
too.
Kings intrigue
I
me
do too.
just for the simple fact that there's like I feel like there's so many teams within the top 10 that need bigs, and the center pool isn't really that big this year. At least to me, on
No,
paper, it doesn't seem
no,
that big.
it's thin.
It's like a 3-man race, and the third man potentially could go past 14. Could be picked past 14. Like I feel like Chet, Paolo's more of an NBA 4, so I wouldn't really consider him a 5.
Well, you got Chet, Jalen, Williams, and Kessler.
Yeah, I mean if Zach Edey's going into the draft, then I mean you throw a wrench in there. I don't know if he's a first round pick though, but
Williams probably.
yeah. It's a lot of roll of the dice thing. Like if a team
He's
needs
going
a
to go in the lottery.
guard,
I
yeah.
could be top 10.
Hmm. That's the thing with Williams though. I mean,
It's a fit. I think it would be it's a fit thing, but I could see it.
if Williams is top 10.
I might
He'll
see.
probably be a Spur 9 times out of 10.
I was going to say that's exactly who I was thinking. If somebody does the top 10, it would be the Spurs.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Or anything like I can see the Spurs taking like a Matherin, a Keegan if those guys fall, a Williams. They're gonna need to replace
Yeah.
Lonnie, to me. So because the Lonnie experiment is not shaping up to be as good as they thought it would be.
But yeah, I definitely want to. Yeah, definitely want to do mock.
Yeah, I say yeah. So definitely want to look out for that because now I kind of want to do my research.
Yeah, now you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're in.
I mean, it was always an intriguing prospect, but once you like, this is like I forgot it's another draft class in recent memory, probably the LaMelo class where it was like everything past 3 was completely like unknown. You didn't know who was really gonna go where. This year is kind of a similar thing based off the teams that have top 10 picks because they all kind of have a similar need, and there's not many of that guy in the class. So who moves up?
For
Who
what
moves
team?
down? Like I feel like as far as like teams that need bigs, like Pistons, Pacers, Blazers, Pelicans to
I
an
mean, yeah,
extent, but it's manageable.
These other teams, they still have other great needs, in my opinion.
Yeah, they probably
Like, I don't
have more glaring holes. Like Pacers do need a small forward. So
I mean, and it depends. Like, do they think that Duarte is a building block as the starting two, or do they take somebody like Ivy or Matherin if he's available? You know what I mean? Like, or
yeah,
even the Kings if they don't believe in Mitchell.
Or Murray.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
mm, yeah. Some point, it'd be a dive-in process with this lottery. Pretty outside of like me having pain for being fifth, right knocking on side the
Hey,
door
look.
of four.
Hey, look. You got your dude last year. I mean, just hey,
Yeah, somebody
you can
said
still
that,
ride
but it's
that.
like we still got holes, bro. Like,
Yeah, but you also have
Things.
tradable assets and some cap. So I mean, it's not like a disaster. Not a total disaster here.
yeah, it's
Y'all could get aggressive now.
oh, if we trade up, then I'm I can't say that on the podcast, but if we
Well,
trade
I
up,
was not. I mean, I was thinking this. I was thinking just general trade and maybe like free agency. But I mean, sure, you
mm,
could.
some of the trades I'm seeing are kind of reckless because I see
I
some
mean,
like
Oklahoma City wants all the picks, so who? Yeah.
yeah, I seen a Blazers trade that kind of maybe want to throw up a little bit. I think it was
Ooh, what was it?
I think it was Eric Bledsoe, Keon Johnson, and pick 7 for Jeremy Grant,
Ew.
and it's like
You don't want Jeremy Grant anyway, so take that seventh pick.
yeah, but we take on Eric Bledsoe and that fat contract.
Eric Bledsoe.
I thought he only had 1 year left.
I mean, I think it's 1 year left, but it's a fat contract.
Well,
No,
it's also an expiring you could dump.
Yeah,
and he's not a bum. Let's not.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he's not totally washed. I mean,
yeah.
he is
It's not from
serviceable, and
the
you
yeah.
can dump him.
It's not from a bumper. Like, it's not like from like he's a bum perspective. It's the
That contract ain't that bad
yeah.
either.
It's like a well yeah. It's
Like
like a
17. It's like 17.
Yeah, it's an expiring contract. He's not completely washed. You could use him and then dump him, or dump him before the season even starts. You don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not awful.
It's more of a
It's not
youth
awful.
thing for
It's,
me.
great move.
Yeah.
That sounds
it
like a
just
great move for you guys.
hearing you say it's like ew, but then again it's like all right, deep dive, it's all right, maybe not too terrible.
That's a
Yeah.
great. That's a great trade for you. Now that I think about it, you should take that if that's the case. That's a great trade. Seriously, no, you want it. You talk about getting rid of Grant all the time.
Yeah, if anything,
I mean, it's definitely a need.
If anything,
It's a need for the Blade.
I'd rather send him the
The
off.
Blade. We don't have a pick, so
Well, not for a pick, but I
what do
mean,
you lose that mission?
y'all got
I
pieces.
mean, who's your ideal? All right, who's your ideal draft pick?
for 5?
No, I mean just in general. In general.
Oh, Chet, more or less. Yeah.
Chet.
Yeah.
Okay, so say this hypothetical trade goes through. This happens. 5 and 7 could probably get. OKC wants all the picks. 5 and 7 might get you too.
It
And you
won't.
could get Chet.
It won't. It won't.
Uh,
You know that it won't. It might have got you 3 or 4. It's not getting you 1 or 2.
yeah, but they might get us
It's not.
3. And even then, 3 is like I
They're
don't
not
think
getting.
I don't think trading up for Paulo looks good on Weaver's resume, just off the
Yeah.
possibility of it.
Paulo Code
Hey, Paulo's gonna be
Better-
fire, but it's like
better than Chet.
eh,
I'm gonna stick by it until I'm gonna stick by it until I prove it. I'm sticking by it.
hey man, if it's me, I'm going with the dude who towers over David Robinson. That's what I'm going with. And David, I'm going with the guy
Just
that Steve Robinson like.
Chet
like
needs
on
to
Twitter.
Chet needs to develop his game a little bit more and put on some weight.
I mean, how many times have we seen these Gonzaga / Villanova bigs that can shoot and do this and do that? Yes, he's a little bit more agile. He can dribble a little bit better, but I'm not impressed. And I've
mean-
seen an archetype like him already who hasn't been getting minutes. As much as we want to say he's kind of been fleeced throughout his career, if he was that nice, he'd be playing, and that's Bol Bol. They're very similar.
Got fleeced though. In Denver, he got fleeced.
But I'm saying, but PTP, if he was that nice, he'd have been playing.
It's Denver. He should be playing.
I mean,
He wasn't in Denver. He was other
not
places
this
now.
past
He wasn't
season.
playing.
Not this past season. He was injured though, so that's why he didn't play for the Magic or anything.
Quote
But-
unquote.
Yeah, possibly. But like with the Nuggets, as I look at it, like, 'cause when he did touch the court, like He won. He
I
won
mean, yeah,
like a
but
waste of
it was
space.
always it was always in games that didn't matter or blowouts or like preseason where they're playing three forwards, so it's hard to tell what's really real.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
You know
But
what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, he can dribble, but he's not cold enough to dribble like you know, for real. And yeah, he can shot block, but he's too skinny to bang. You know, and yeah, like he's mobile, but he's so big, he's not that great switching. You know what I mean? Like it's like one of those things. Like yeah, you have all this potential, but it's just not coming
uh,
together because of certain limitations. It's like you do these things decent, but not good enough to be at the NBA level. Like you're not gonna be Kevin Durant out here right now. Your
I mean,
dribbling's not to that level. So it's
yeah.
like I'm not gonna have the ball in your hands like that. So then what's the point? And like, yeah, you can block shots, but you're small, so you can just get bodied. Then
I mean, yeah. Like that. The first season for him is definitely gonna be like he's gonna have like that bi learning curve where it's like they taking it to your chest and now you got to go into the summer and work on your body because I mean that's definitely gonna be like the general consensus that probably even he has for himself. Like at this first season or even during that first season, he gonna have to bulk up eventually. So I feel like once he bulks up, then that's gonna be a pick that a lot of people are gonna be like, if we let that get away, then we gonna regret it. To me, at least, I feel like that's a regrettable decision.
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not sold.
Yeah, but yeah, like for those that are listening to this episode, at some point we will, at least for this 14, possibly. I don't know if it goes further than that. It might go further than that. We will
Yeah,
give
let's
our
do a full. Let's do a full mock.
full mock.
First round at least. Yeah, first round. Why
We'll
not?
see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm in for the whole first round.
Yeah, it'll definitely be like a potential, depending on how we do it. But other than that, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to add in, chime in on?
Celtics in
Uh,
7.
I mean that's fine and dandy. I don't have any issues with that. I just wanted to let it be known that Jimmy Butler is a Hall of Famer, and you know Nick Wright said something earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this, but I feel like I want people to think about this.
Oh God, Nick Wright. Okay.
I mean, when it's not LeBron or Patrick Mahomes, he's usually pretty solid.
He's kind of regulated when it comes to anybody else other than that.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know, we talk about players who we regularly identify as struggling in the playoffs, but we don't give the same positive attention to those guys who rise in the playoffs as much as we should. You know what I mean? Like Jimmy is one of those guys. Jimmy is looking like one of the greater playoff risers of his era. Honestly,
Fair.
like give him
That's fair.
it's starting to give me some not because they played very differently, but it's starting to give me some Reggie Miller vibes. Like Reggie Miller's a Hall of Famer.
Hmm.
But if you look at like his regular season stats, like they don't jump out at you. But if you go to those playoff stats, those playoff numbers, playoff impact, it goes from like 22 to like 31. Like shit is actually insane.
Yeah, that is
So
definitely an important factor.
yeah, it's just like you raise your game when it counts the most, and he's been doing that for a while. I mean, he did it with Philly, you know, did it with Chicago.
Mm.
Didn't have a lot of chance to do it with Minnesota, but I mean, hey, it got them to the playoffs. And also, every team he gets to, they get better. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
He definitely leaves an impression in some capacity.
Yeah.
But actually
So,
nothing.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I'm throwing.
Probably.
There's worse in the Hall of Fame. So
Oh yeah, there's T Mac.
huh?
Is T Mac?
What?
T Mac in there yet?
He is in there, but T Mac's better than Jimmy Butler now. I'm not.
I was gonna say, whoa. Whoa.
T-Mac
I'm supposed to be the
is
Bayless around here. Whoa. What was that?
It's crazy because I'm the one that be on T Mac's head, but
Because
T
you don't
Mac is
like T
so.
Mac as far as like
I
where his
love T Mac's
standing
game.
is.
I love T Mac's game. I just want to keep it. I keep consistent energy. I always say T Mac is the only player. He's literally so talented that he's literally in the Hall of Fame for just talent.
Yeah.
Didn't win any MVP. Didn't have any playoff success. He was just that fucking nice, and we all know it. So he's in there. Because I mean, he's not that many people that's better than Tracy McGrady all the time. We know that. I mean, man could go toe to toe with Kobe any day when he was healthy and at 6'8". So, hey,
Yeah. Hmm.
Tracy McGrady now. Come on, man.
It was looking like a mini test too, just to see if anybody was going like.
Oh, I heard you. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
heard
heard
you. Oh, we heard you.
Had to make sure y'all was on your toes. But
Shit.
just one last thing that I think of because I was talking about it earlier with someone earlier about it. Um, based off like the Chris Paul thing, people even getting their kicks out of like the whole him getting put in a blender, all that good stuff. But it's one thing that I kind of noticed when it comes to the playoffs this year, as far as there's guys like KD, Chris Paul, guys that lose, and I don't know if it's like the era or just the shock
It is.
value aspect. Yeah, probably more or less, but or like the shock value aspect of like just saying like a guy who in previous years or even like the season before the playoffs put up good numbers to just say that they're washed and they're bad or they gotta just quit. Like it, it's something that really I feel like ruins the integrity of the game to an extent because for people to sit there and call Katie a bum for like 3 straight weeks, it really mean it. It's absolutely crazy to me.
I mean, like you said, bro. Like it's definitely the error. I mean, one, it's a social media era. So one, a lot of these people aren't even fans of the game. That's just a fact. They're not. They
Yeah,
just like to look at the highlights and all that blah blah blah. That's one. Two, a lot of people don't know or understand the game. They're just looking at box scores.
True.
And then
yeah,
three, it's just people that just want to just join in and people like it's fun to say crack shit on people and talk shit on Instagram and Twitter and all that now. So that's all of that. You know what I mean? Like if you understand the game, understand the context, understand team situations, you still understand that Kevin Durant is still one of the best players in the league. But, team situation, coaching situation, and yeah, look and age a little bit as well, played a factor in all those things. But I mean to say that to ignore the talent that he has is asinine. He wouldn't have been getting he simply wouldn't have been getting the attention that he was getting if he wasn't great. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he wouldn't have been getting doubled and tripled as far as attention wise the whole series if he wasn't like that.
Man, you're right.
And Chris Paul, people like to hate Chris Paul for sure, but that's another thing that people just don't understand the game. To understand how he's able to dictate pace. You know what I mean? And I will say though, when it comes to Chris Paul, I feel like we got to keep it consistent. Not for the people that you're talking about, but just the people that are saying like, he's the best player on the team. But then on the flip side, we can't turn around and say, well, he's 37. I feel like we had to pick. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, yes, he can be an all-star level point guard. He's still one of the best point guards in the game today, probably top 5 to 7 range.
yeah.
But he's not the best player on the team anymore. His impact may be greater if that makes sense when he's at his best, but he's not the best player on the team anymore.
Yeah, it's like
You know,
he's good enough to have an effect that's not completely negative, but it's not a situation
yeah,
where you can just
it's
look at
kind
it
of
and be
like
like, he's the reason they're winning games.
yeah, and like this is not the best comparison, of course, but it's kind of like Steph Curry's impact is all time great, but he's never been better than LeBron James, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, of course. From all around perspective, because like,
I
there's
mean,
certain
that's the only
yeah,
perspective that matters. I mean,
yeah,
if we want to pick and choose, like, yeah, he's a better shooter. LeBron's a better passer. Steph's a better ball handler. I mean, yeah, we can pick and choose. I
yeah.
mean, better player. I don't think Steph's ever been a better player than LeBron. But his impact is so great. And not to say that LeBron's isn't either. That's why I said this is not a great example. But like, I feel like sometimes people confuse, and it's definitely a slippery slope. But I feel like overall impact and how good you are can be different at times. I don't know. It's kind of weird to say.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? I feel like it's tough. Like Draymond Green's impact is amazing, incredible.
yeah. I mean,
Is he better? Would I say he's better than like a Zach Levine as a player? No, I would not.
yeah. Or even in like
But
say like a Dennis Rodman situation, like Dennis Rodman's effect on championship teams is very massive. You know, defensively and on the glass. But I wouldn't say he's more important than Jordan, or I wouldn't say he's like a better player than Jordan because he affects the game specifically from a certain point a lot better than Jordan does. I wouldn't say that his position changes because of that.
yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, just a little food for thought for you guys out there because I know it's probably somebody out there that's like on the troll side of things. I need you to look at the game, not look at Patrick Beverly making the funny statements, but look at the game. You know, he has his opinion. He plays the game. He can have that, but you on your couch. I need you to watch this game. But
Bro, he real quick. He got on ESPN. He was like, they should have benched Chris. He was like, it happens. I've been benched before. And then he said, I was like, I know you did not just compare yourself to Chris Paul.
bruh,
Do people understand that at their best, Chris Paul is significantly better than Patrick Beverly's best attribute? Do people understand that? Like Pat Beverly's known for his defense. At their best, Chris Paul is like levels better than Patrick Beverly defensively. Not even close. It's really not.
hmm,
Like in his defensive prime, like Chris Paul was the best defensive guard in the NBA. And I don't think it wasn't that close
yeah,
as far as the point guard, I think. I mean, as far as overall guards, yeah, you could put like Tony Allen in there and like, you know, some other guys, but point guard wise, I don't think it was ever really that close. I know Rondo had some time in there, and like young Drew maybe, but no,
yeah,
Chris was doing shit. Two-way beast.
yeah, yeah. That's just. I feel like it's gonna get worse as time goes on because it's already at an all time
Oh
low
well,
right now. But
yeah. No, people don't appreciate the game, man. That's what it is. And
uh,
as an advocator, I take offense to that.
exactly, like even as an enthusiast, sometimes it becomes hard to like be one of be on the better side of certain things. Well, obviously, like the opinions are opinions because like you guys like Kendrick Perkins that'll take Embiid over Jokic off the eye test, and the eye test has been
I'm
proven
gonna take him. I'm
invalid.
gonna take Embiid too. I'm gonna take Embiid over Jokic. I won't even blink.
Yeah,
That's an opinion that you know has reason. It has points. You know what I mean? Like I can rock with that. Even if I would have taken Jokic, I can rock with that. But you trying to tell me, that KD's a bum, can't play. That's just that's asinine.
yeah,
Doesn't make sense.
man. But
But I definitely take that one though for sure.
yeah,
Because yeah, I don't want to slander. I don't want to slander the MVP though, so I won't.
yeah. He probably knows it. So, no, that's just yeah. That's open another rabbit hole. But that'd be it for this week. As always, you could follow us on social media. Twitter is at Going for Three Pod, and on Instagram, the Going for Three Podcast. Where also and the YouTube channel. Still eventually gonna do something with that. I don't know when, but it will happen. Um, so where could these fine people find you guys at?
At Tony the Real on Twitter.
Christy Collins on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter at PTP_99. By the way, if you look at the Twitter page at Going for Three Pod once again. Um, you know, appreciate the artwork, man. Appreciate that artwork. You know, took some time on that. But hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and we will see you all next time.